Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all having a great day today. Today's video is going to be a full face of the most expensive makeup products I have in my collection. I have a little bag here with all of the steps and we are just gonna go through it. I will leave a tally down below of how much all of these things cost, and I'm a little nervous to see that total price. I'm not gonna lie. Some of these products are quite pricey. Well, they are all pricey. They are the most expensive products in my collection. For a primer, the most expensive primer I had in my collection is this from Auric. This is the Auric Glow Lust. I have mine in the shade Pyrite. This is honestly not a formula that I use very often. I don't love glowy primers just because I feel like my face is already pretty oily. And so I don't tend to reach for super glowy things. I also don't tend to reach for highlighters that often, but because I have this, we are going to try and use it. I am putting just a little bit on all of the high points of my face. This is maybe a bit much, so this is just going to be an all over glowy primer. I only did one pump of it, but you can see it leaves this really pretty, really radiant glow. And for me, who has oily skin, that's not typically the kind of glow that I want, but that's okay. It is definitely glowy, definitely kind of shiny, definitely leaning on the greaseball side for me and my taste personally, but I do think it's still really pretty. If you like a super glowy look, I do think that you would like this. It is pricey, and not just pricey, it's a little bit harder to get your hands on than say like the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. There are a bunch of other glowy primers on the market now that I don't necessarily think that you need this specific one, but there are a good amount of shades. It is really pretty. It's just maybe too glowy for my tastes in makeup. For foundation, the most expensive foundation I have is this one from Chanel. This is the Les Beige Touche de Teint, and I have mine in the shade B30. I am gonna do like two pumps in the palm of my hand like that. The thing with this product is that you need to break up the pigment capsules before applying it to your face, or it can be a little bit streaky, and then I just apply this. I think this is a really pretty formula and I do like it. I just think it's maybe a little bit too expensive for what I would typically like to spend. I mean, it is really pretty. It lasts a really long amount of time on me. It doesn't look cakey throughout the day. It doesn't get too oily throughout the day. It is just so expensive. So I take a little bit onto my face, use a brush to blend it out. A brush is definitely the way to go. A sponge would pretty much just soak up all of this product. I think the shade match is okay for me, maybe a tad bit on the warmer side, but for the most part, it's a good shade match. And then whatever's left on my hand, I just pick it up with a brush, tap around to make sure everything is blended properly. So this is what the base is looking like so far. I do think it looks really healthy and glowy. I like the amount of coverage that the Chanel Les Beige has. It doesn't look too full coverage. It really just kind of looks like my skin, but a little bit healthier and just plumper. I personally think that my skin is a little bit too glowy right now just because of the Auric Glow Lust. Like that is a glowy product and I don't typically reach for that. However, I do think it's a pretty base. I feel like if you enjoy a super glowy base, you would really like it. The next product I'm going to go in with is my Dior Forever Skin Correct. This is the most expensive concealer I have in my collection, and I have mine in the shade 2WO, Too Warm Olive. I think this is a really good concealer. It's slightly thicker than most other concealers that I have, especially these days. I feel like all of the products on the market are like serum-like. This one is definitely more of a thicker cream. However, it still does look really nice on your under eyes, on acne marks. It doesn't pick up on dry texture, and it doesn't look super cakey on me. I will say I have other products that look better on me, but this is still a really pretty formula and I do like it and I do enjoy it. For cream contour, the product that I'm going to go in with is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. I have mine in the shade light medium, and this also isn't my favorite product. Honestly, I like the e.l.f. dupe of this a lot more than this product. Not to say that this is a bad product, but I like the shades of the e.l.f. one more. I think the blendability of it is also a little bit easier. I know that this is like a cult favorite and I understand why. Just for me, I feel like I just want something a little bit more cool toned and not as noticeable. Like I feel like even that you can still tell it has a lot of sculpt to it, a lot of pigment, and I think I just prefer something a little bit less intense. So I'm using this ColourPop F31 brush to blend this out, and then for foundation and concealer I was using the Rare Beauty foundation brush. I am just going to take my foundation brush and go over the edges a little bit, just because I feel like I got a little bit carried away, especially with the nose contour. And then for cream blush, the product that is the most expensive in my collection is this blush from Westman Atelier. This is their Baby Cheeks blush stick, and I have mine in the shade Pop It, which is this really bright pink shade. I think this is a really pretty blush. I think it blends out really nicely. I honestly don't reach for this as much as I should, just because I have a lot of other blushes and I have been reaching for the one in my project pan the most. With cream blush sticks like this, I don't typically draw it directly on my face. I'll usually go in with a brush and stipple it out. This brush is from e.l.f. This is their Putty Primer applicator, and I feel like this gives me a good amount of control with the blush. I am also a heavy blush galley, so this looks like a lot of blush. That's because it is. I love a good bright blush. The next product that I am going to go in with is powder, and the most expensive powder I have in my collection is this one from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Airbrush Flawless Finish Perfecting Micro Powder. I have mine in the shade 2, and for most powders lately I've really been enjoying a powder puff, so I'm going to use a powder puff to apply this. I'm gonna first tap out under my eyes just to make sure there's no creases. Tap into the powder and then tap this onto my face. I am mostly going to focus this on the center of my face, the points where I get the most oily, so above my lip, my chin, especially my forehead, and in between my eyebrows. And I like to set the center of my face with the powder puff, but for the perimeters of my face, I'll usually just go in with a powder brush. So I'm gonna take my Moda Pro brushes. This is just a big brush, and just lightly go around the perimeters. I feel like the center of my face needs a lot more help than the rest of my face, so I do like to go in with a powder puff and really press the powder in towards the center, but on the perimeter I just need a light layer, and so I usually go in with a brush for that. For powder bronzer, the most expensive powder bronzer I have in my collection is this one from Victoria Beckham Beauty. This is their bronzing brick. I have mine in the shade 03, which has warm sand. The warm side is sand and the contour side is Soul. So it has a warmer side and a slightly cooler toned contour side. For me, if I'm going to reach for this, I am going to reach for the cooler tone side, just because I don't love a super bronzy look on me. I feel like a lot of bronzers tend to lean, honestly, orange. So we're just gonna swish in the middle for the sake of this video. It is quite powdery. There is a little bit of pickup to it. and then just apply this to the bronzer spots. I am not super precise with bronzer. I'll typically just kind of go in the normal spots, but with a big fluffy brush. The one thing about this component in particular is that the packaging is just so weighty and luxurious feeling. It has this little button here that you push to open the compact. It really is just a beautiful work of art. I like the tortoiseshell of it. Like I said, it's nice and hefty. And when you finish this product, you can actually buy just a refill for the pan and not rebuy the compact to save a little bit of money. Honestly, I love this compact though. It is so pretty. It is so nice and weighty. I feel like if I were to ever finish this product, I would just keep like pressed powder in here, like pressed powder in here, and just take this with me everywhere because the component is just that pretty. For powder blush, the most expensive powder blush I have in my collection is this one from Gucci. From Gucci, this is the Blush de Beauté in the shade 05 Rosy Beige. It is really just this very classic, very mid-tone neutral like blush shade, especially on me. I am gonna go in with this brush and then just tap everywhere. I feel like this blush is just okay. Like, I think the blush is very pretty. Do I think it's worth the $50 that it is? No, I feel like the formula of this is very similar to any other powder blush that I have. I will say the packaging is pretty. It's not as weighty feeling as I kind of would like it to be, but the component is very pretty to look at. I like the pink of it. I like the aesthetics of it. It is a very pretty blush to have in my collection, but the formula itself I don't think is anything revolutionary. But I do think that's really pretty. Like, I feel like that blends nicely. For eyes, I don't typically go in with an eyeshadow palette, so I didn't pick one of those out. But I did pick out my most expensive single shadow little thing. This is technically two shadows, but this is from Auric. This is their Smoke Reflect in the shade Defiance. The top component here is a glitter topper that looks like that. It's a really pretty glitter topper. And if you unscrew the cap, on the bottom here, you actually have a cream eyeshadow. This one is this really pretty bronzy shade. So we're gonna go in with this. I am just gonna take a tiny bit on my finger. It has like a really kind of moussey texture onto it. It feels really nice. I don't reach for this, honestly, as much as I should, but just take my finger, throw a little bit onto my eyes, and I think it does just make it look very like effortlessly that I try to do a really complex eyeshadow look, but it's so low effort. And then for the glitter topper, I am gonna also use my finger for that, if I can open this, to apply this. So just rub it in there. That reflect is so pretty. And then just tap this on. And I feel like that's just a really pretty, like, so low effort. It looks like it's smoked out. It looks like it's way more effort than it actually is, but that is it. That is all I had to do. For my brows, the two most expensive brow products I have are this brow pencil from Benefit. This is just the Precisely My Brow in the shade 5. This is $26, which I feel like it didn't used to be this expensive, but maybe Benefit has increased their prices since the pandemic. So I'm just gonna lightly fill in my brow. Honestly, I haven't filled in my brows like this in a really long time, just because I did get my brows tattooed and that has usually been enough. Usually I'll just go in with a clear brow gel, but for the sake of this video, we are going to fill them in a little bit more. So filling them in using the spoolie on the other side just to blend them out a little bit more. And then the most expensive brow gel I have in my collection is actually this one from Kofi. This is their Free the Brow lamination brow gel, and I honestly don't love this. I thought that this would be a good product that was similar to the Refi Brow Sculpt, but it's clear, so it wouldn't leave little white crunchies in my brow hairs. But this actually makes my brows fall really, really quickly. So I don't love this. I do have it though, so I am gonna try and use it. I just don't think this is the product for me. If you have super thick brows, this might be better for you, but my brow hairs themselves are so thin that I find that this kind of just weighs them down. So that is brows all done. I feel like they look extremely fluffy right now, but that is all good. For the lip combo that I'm gonna go in with, the most expensive lip liner that I have is from Victoria Beckham Beauty. This is their lip diviner, and I have mine in the shade 02. But I am going to line my lips. And then the gloss that I'm gonna go in with on top of that is my Dior Rosy Glow Lip Oil. I have mine in the shade 12 Rosewood, the classic, and gonna just apply this on top. And then I got lip liner on the doe foot, so I'm actually gonna just wipe that off on this paper because I don't want to change the color of the gloss too much. So the most expensive mascara in my collection is a tie between these two mascaras. So this is from Nabla. This is their Vicious mascara, their just normal Vicious mascara. And then I also have this Bugle and Rudy mascara, which is their like chocolate, what is this? The chocolate dripped tubing mascara. They are both $25 when I looked. I like the packaging of the Nabla one a lot. I like the volume that this gives a lot. However, this does smudge on me really, really badly. The tubing mascara from Rudy Berry and Bugle is also really good. It has this like kind of tapered wand, natural bristles. I think this is a really good tubing mascara. I think this does a relatively good job of holding the curl in my lashes as well. I honestly like both of them for different reasons. This one is also extremely easy to remove. This one smudges on me, which is like immediately a deal breaker for me, and it doesn't hold a curl because it's not waterproof. So they're both pretty in their own ways. However, I don't know which one I want to go in with because I do already have mascara on from earlier from a different video that I was filming that I couldn't get this mascara off of. So I guess let's just go in with the Nabla because what I have on underneath is already waterproof. I feel like this could add a good amount of volume to my lashes. I know Nabla did come out with a waterproof version of this mascara really recently, so I am excited to try that. And they also had a lot of fun shades of their Cupid's Arrow, like summer shades for their Cupid's Arrow. So even just that, I feel like this made my lashes already so much more volumized, which I really like about this mascara. It's just a shame that it doesn't hold a curl, and then it does usually smudge on me. I probably should have put this on before doing mascara, but the most expensive setting spray I have in my collection is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush setting spray, but this is probably the best setting spray I have in my collection. Give myself a nice layer. Once this dries down, I am probably gonna go in with just a slight small layer of powder right on the center of my face. But this is pretty much the final look. This is a full face of my most expensive makeup in every category. I am a little nervous to see how much all of this makeup actually costs combined. I definitely don't think that you need to spend this much makeup or spend this much money on this makeup. I feel like there are a lot of dupes out there, a lot of just more affordable products that kind of do the same thing. Things like the Auric Glow Lust, I don't think you necessarily need in your collection. I don't need this in my collection. The Westman Atelier blush, while it is very pretty, don't know if I need this in my collection either. It's not like the most amazing cream blush formula out there. I do want to say that the packaging is very nice and luxurious. This magnetic closure feels very, very satisfying. The Auric Glow Lust is really pretty, and I honestly should pull this out more, especially that cream shade. I feel like that was such an effortless makeup look right there, and an an effortless eye look right there. The Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand, you guys know this isn't a product that I love. However, it is expensive and I do use it, so I want to make sure I'm getting use out of it. The Dior lip oil kind of like popped off on the internet a couple of years ago, and while it is a really nice lip oil, there are so many dupes out there now that I just can't justify buying this again, even though it is pretty and it does feel nice and it does leave this really pretty glossy finish. I just can't justify spending more money on one of these lip oils. I just don't like this Kulfi brow gel. This has already made my brows drop, even though when you first put it on, it looks amazing. But as soon, like if you wait like 10 minutes, my eyebrows are straight down again. So not my favorite. I much prefer the Refi Brow Sculpt over this one still, but I do have it. It is the most expensive product in my collection, so wanted to use it. The Benefit Brow Pencil, honestly way more expensive than I remember it being. I feel like it used to only be $22, $24, but now that it's $26, I feel like that's too expensive for a brow pencil. There are so many other brow pencils on the market now. I just don't think I can justify spending Benefit prices. I know Benefit does have a really good shade range, but I don't necessarily think I need one of those shades. I feel like I can find other shades within drugstore lines, within just other high-end lines that work just as well for me. The Charlotte Tilbury powder is a really good powder. I understand the hype around it. I do like the way that this looks and the way that it sits on my skin, the way that it wears throughout the day. This is a really good powder. It's so expensive. This is like a $50 powder. I don't know. I would probably repurchase this. I'm not gonna lie. It is really good. It's just more money than I feel like I would want to spend on a powder like this. And then these two, the most luxurious products I feel like I have in my collection is the Victoria Beckham Bronzing Brick and the Gucci Blush. Both of them are very, very pretty packaging. I think the formulas are good. Don't get me wrong, you are not going to be disappointed in them. I just don't think they're anything super special in the realm of powder bronzer and powder blush that was switched, but you know what I mean. These I kind of feel like is that good just because of the packaging. Like this Victoria Beckham compact is the most stunning compact I've ever held in my hands ever. Better than all of the like Gucci, Dior, Armani packaging that I have. This Bronzing Brick packaging is just beautiful, and I love it for its beautifulness, for its beauty. And then the Gucci blush, like I said, the packaging is very pretty. I really like the Gucci aesthetic, but I don't know, man, it's just a powder blush, and you can see that maybe you can see I accidentally dug my nail in there a little bit, which hurts my soul because that is wasted product, but the component is very pretty. I will give them that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little look at all of my most expensive makeup products. I feel like this was a lot of money, and do I kind of wish I didn't spend all of this money? Maybe. I definitely didn't need to spend all of this money, but most of these products I do enjoy. There are just a few that I feel like there are better out there, and in general, I don't think you need to spend high-end prices to get high-end quality products. There are definitely a lot better options out there at the drugstore. There are tons of dupes out there at this point, so I definitely don't think you need to spend high-end money for a beautiful face of makeup. I love me a good high-end product. I like the luxuriousness of a lot of these, so I will continue to buy high-end products. That is a-okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe if you aren't already, and let me know if you want me to do a least expensive makeup product version of this video. I think that'd be really fun. I think a lot of them are probably going to be dupe-esque, but there are a lot of really good products at the drugstore. So let me know if you want to see that from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.